All right, let's see how this new trim does. These are pretty substantial, so I don't think we'll have an issue. Oh yeah, that one's beautiful. That one will cover everything around the spout. And that one will definitely cover enough here. Slight gap, but if I center it right, we're gonna be good. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Okay, so now it's just gonna be a matter of making sure I center the new valve within this. That way the trim can cover it. Speaking of the new valve, we don't need that. All right, now this cartridge, guys, that cartridge is on the flat spot being up. You see it says up on the valve. Always make sure you put the valve the correct way. We need to flip this cartridge to off position so we don't forget. So cartridge is off now. And let's get this set up. We're gonna cut some copper pipe. And we're gonna have some copper adapters. We're going to need a 90 and a male adapter for the spout. The new spout is actually a slip-on style, so there'll be no male adapter for that. And then we'll need a coupling for connecting to the shower pipe. Alright, looks like I'm missing a male adapter. That's not good. Alright guys, I'll tell you what we're going to do, much as I hate to, because I don't have that other male, we're going to use solder adapter to the shower pipe, and we'll do another male adapter into the valve. That's what we're going to do. All right, good deal. So first of all, what I want to do is solder the male adapter on the pipe. Once it cools, we'll then thread it in the valve. This piece might be long enough. We're going to use our old valve as a measurement tool. That's long enough. Good deal. Almost precisely long enough. All right, let's do it. Okie doke. And I am almost out of flux. I guess I better get some of that here in the next day or two. This is a nice little layer. Don't need any blobs. Just a nice thin layer of flux. And we're going to need that later. Alright guys, let's get this adapter sweated up and cooled off, and we'll get it in our valve here. Perfect. Now it's starting to get pretty hot already. This end will get pretty hot quick. That's good. Now what I'd like to do, once it cools just enough it's not liquid anymore, is we're going to get some wet paper towel and just clean this flux off. That way it doesn't turn green and nasty later. And we have some water in our bucket here, so we can use that. Beautiful. Now you don't want to cool it too fast, so let it, they say that you can crack the solder. Try not to do that. Like I say, the only thing I'm doing is cleaning all this flux off. And that's nice and shiny now. And cooled for the most part. Still pretty hot. Now we are going to get these adapters put in. Alright, we got our Teflon tape. Now this tape calls for a minimum of 3 wraps required. As you can see, I'll usually use 5 when I go brass to brass. So between 4 and 5 is what I like. And you do want to stretch this stuff. You want to stretch it tight as you get it on. As you put it on, definitely stretch it tight. 3, 4, that's close to 5. And we're going to put Alright guys, so we got our Teflon tape and we're getting these adapters ready. And we're going to put one in the top and the copper is going to go in the bottom. Now our copper has cooled down, so let's get it put in. And we'll do about 3 to 4 on this. 3. Gonna work. Copper is more malleable, so the threads will actually form to each other as you tighten it up. Brass is the worst because it is so hard. If there's any discrepancy in the way these are threaded, then you need that extra Teflon tape to fill in the gaps. And it seems like there's always an issue getting them to seal brass to brass. Pretty good. Say, once again, this is up So that's going to our shower head. And obviously this is our spout. Now what we are going to do is we're going to match these up. Look at that. That PEX fitting slides right on there. Keep it nice and lined up. It looks like these are the exact same length here. So I don't even know that I need to cut that off. Wow, that piece was exactly the right length. Anyway, we'll dry fit it with a piece of copper first and make sure it looks centered. Or at least that I can get it centered. Cut us a piece for the tub spout here. All right, let's shove that through and make sure that looks right. So I have some movement in my hole. I have a little movement, not a ton. So let's just make sure it looks like it's going to work. And, well, okay, so it's definitely not too high. And I have plenty of adjustment to get that in the center. Oh yeah, that looks good. So we'll sweat that up with that length. And, yep, that'll work. Set that down so it doesn't fall. There we go. Okay. We just need to sweat this 90 in. And that'll be everything for the valve. Although I will have to sweat this on that piece coming down for the shower in the wall. So we have 2 more fittings to sweat and we'll be done with that. Look good. I've seen guys have leaks on copper tubing before, and it's always because they either didn't clean the copper enough, or they didn't spread their flux right, or they overheated the fitting. You don't want to do any 3 of those. Always make sure you clean your copper real nice. It's kind of weird. Oh. All right, we're good. Now, if this was a water line, then I would be reaming these cut pieces, but there's absolutely no reason to do it for a tub spout or shower head. At least in my opinion, so. Okay, so now it's just a matter of lining this up perfectly. You can tell by the cartridge sticking out whether it's straight or not. So we're going to get it lined up as perfectly as possible. That's almost right. Now, just need to sweat this guy. I always like to start at the top and work down, so any solder that will seep past this will come out the bottom fitting if you put too much on. Okay, 2 more seconds. Good. I'm gonna do the bottom. Very little because it's already heated up. Okay. We are together. We'll double check that's straight. Oh yeah. Now sometimes these fittings will actually caulk it in. I think we're okay. We'll spread that back out just a little bit. Once you heat it, you don't want to crack in your solder. Reliquify it for just a second. Yep, good. A little smoky. Oh yeah, that's good. That's a little straighter. Of course, you can't tell on camera, but all right. Now we're going to wet some paper towel. Well, in this case, it's toilet paper. And give this a sec to cool. And we're going to get this solder cleaned off. I got that one a little bit hot because I got that one a little bit hot, but it's still just fine. Get all this solder cleaned off. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Okay, now we have a nice straight tub spout. Okay, we're ready to get that in the wall. Other than the adapter going up to the tub spout, we need to confirm length because we might need to cut the copper off. All right, well, when I solder that on there, I will have enough room for sure. Yep, I have enough separation, so that's good. I might cut it off a smidge. I'll cut it off just a little bit. Good deal. Took about 3/4 of an inch off. Okay, let's see, what else do we need here? Now when I'm soldering in a wall, sweating in a wall here, what I'll do is I'll actually take a sprayer and mist. Of course, this insulation, I don't want it catching fire. So we're gonna mist it down gently. All that will dry, no problem. Good. Okay. Let's clean that off. And we need our flux. little bit of flux on it. Oh, I got too much. You don't need blobs, just a nice little coating. Now, I don't want that sliding off, so I need to make sure it's snug. So, what we're gonna do is ever so slightly egg that copper. Squish it just a little bit. That way, when this goes on, it's snug enough. Yep, there we go. It won't fall off. Now, we just need to sweat this up without catching this place on fire. Turn our torch down and point our fire away from everything. Okay, we're on, we're good. Spray it down one more time, make sure we don't have any chance of combustion in here. And we can clean that up. You see all the solder we've cleaned off of it. Beautiful. All right, let's pick some of this stuff up.